welcome to my talk about Jira as a project inbox and how to find relevant emails fast. Thank you for attending these talks. And yeah, I would start with some words about me. So my name is Andreas Haaken. I'm from Germany, and I'm the product manager of Epic SumUp, and I'm the CEO of Aptis, which is the creator of this. And this is the team. And this is an image from earlier this year when we have when we celebrate our successes. And that was in March somewhere when we had one of the biggest sale months in history so far. So we are emerging, and that's great. I personally live more or less as a part-time digital nomad in a caravan with my family, driving around. I have some home base in Sweden, and actually I'm in Switzerland, but this is changing from day to day. So working and living in a caravan with my family, that's what we're actually doing. And that's my family. I have 4 kids with me and a large dog with my wife. And we are preparing for a skiing season this year, which is great in the Switzerland, but I'm not sure if we stay here for that long. So this is just to give you a short, brief overview of who I am. If you're interested in anything what I'm doing, just reach out to me. You will have the opportunity to use the chat and write me an email or whatever you want. I'm always open and happy to talk to you. Okay, but now let's go to the topic, Jira as a project inbox and how to find relevant emails fast. So what does that mean? Before we start into that topic, I would like to introduce you a little bit about the situation. So what we are doing is we talk about lean project management in Jira. What does that mean? Project manager, we use Jira as a project management tool, which is not only related to software development. It can be, but there is a lot of projects that are not bound to software development, and Jira is still used as project management. You know that from Jira Work Management, and there is some efforts going in that direction. We do that, and we use it for project management for all kinds of projects, especially if they are smaller and faster. So one thing that is relevant to this view is that if you think of Jira projects as projects, they have a lack of several functionalities because they don't have a workflow, they don't have a lifecycle in that way. And so what we do is we use issues as projects. And from my experience with a lot of customer talks, we see that there is many customers and many users using epics as projects. Just as an example, is the better. So issues are the better projects because they fulfill all the requirements that you have to project, because they can contain children. And sometimes for your project, it's not just enough to have a ticket. So if tickets become bigger, you will probably use something like a more structured view on this. If you're more interested in this, I wrote a blog about this when tickets become bigger on LinkedIn. So if you follow my my threads there, you will find this very easily. So Jira projects in terms of Jira projects are projects in name only. So they are more or less just a configuration container, and issues have the more abilities to be that, and so that you can use them with a life cycle. So what we are doing is we use Kanban boards for projects, which are just displaying the epics. And so you have an entry point for that and your single source of truth with this, which is one of the biggest opportunities in doing that. So if you think of a project as an issue, it's related to the children task, to the subtasks, and it's related to anything else which is bound to the project. So and that's it. So the project that we are talking about are smaller and faster than compared to the big ones. So when you think of bigger projects in Jira, it's absolutely okay to use Jira project because you don't have the need for a life cycle. But if you think of smaller projects, like for agencies or something, this becomes relevant because the project has an end and it has a timeline, which is remarkable. So let's think about weeks or days even. So, but what's the problem if you work like this? So when you use project as issues, project issues, what's the problem with that? I will try to visualize that in the next slide. Wait a second. So if you think of a Jira project, let's say an epic, for instance, to keep it simple, but there is more ways to structure that, of course. Oh, 1 second. Yeah. If you think of a Jira project as issue, like an epic, there is related things that belong to your project. So first of all, you have the Jira issues and the subtasks. So there is a structure height of 3 levels that is almost enough for a lot of a huge range of projects. Not for everything, but for that it's okay for the small projects. The next item, which is connected to this issue, is the plans and documentations. This can be done by Confluence or any other, like Google Docs or something. You can just link them to the project. So, and of course, it's always, everything should be not far away in terms of click paths. Then you can have the attachments at your project, like contracts or any requirement documentations or something, which is always also very easily attachable to your issue. And then, of course, you will have comments and chats. This is the internal stuff. So you probably connect your issue to the Slack channel, or there is a lot of tools that support the communication. And of course, your developers and your team will use the comments internally to talk about things and remark things that are relevant to the project. But there's one point which is not directly connected to Jira, and this is the communication to external stakeholders. So this is, and that is what we see, what happens a lot is that people and project managers start talking and writing emails in there from their email client to the customers and back, and the complete communication, which is very relevant to your project. It's not directly tied to the project. So it's not in your issue, you won't find it. And you have an inbox which is outside of Jira. So what happens then is that you're probably missing important information from external stakeholders. So this is just not transparent because it's bound to the inbox of the project managers or the stakeholders. Yeah. So this is a problem. How can you solve that? Because when you think of, let's say, support tickets are using it in that way. So you have an issue, you send an email to your customer, you get the email back, and everything is bound to the ticket. That's a way of working that could solve the problem, but there is some pain points when you start working like this in projects. This is related to the email pain points. I won't name them shortly. So the email functions of Jira in natural are somehow improvable. So you can share something, but there's no way of, there's no user-friendly email interface, and you don't have some basic functions that you get used to your Jira client, to your email client. This is like BCC, CC, or attachments. And the next problem, which a lot of project managers are struggling with, is the emails are not in the company CI. If you send emails just directly from plain Jira, they look like tickets, and this is not what you want to have in communication with your customers. The next pain point area is the overview. So projects, as I already stated in the beginning, is more than just one ticket. A project has the issue for the project itself, but it has also several tasks that belong to the project, and everything is connected to the project, not just this one issue, but more of them. So projects contain regularly a subset of issues, and they have their own belongings and probably their own communication. So, and this is simply not easy to see. And the context for that is also not easy to define. So when you look at particular comments in Jira, and you want to find just the comments that are related to the issues that are connected to your project, let's say epics and tasks, it's not easy to define and it's not easy to find. So searching is quite poor, just for the context, but also for the search functionality, because you all know that JQL searching for text it's like a fuzzy search. You find it's not easy to find these things. Yeah, and next thing is that you don't have a right overview of comments that can be scattered over different issues, because the one person is communicating through the project and another one is one level below through a certain task, but you want to see everything in one view. Yeah, and of course, if you, let's say, if you probably share your inbox from the email client, you will we will get the problem in the communication is not automatically structured in the hierarchy or in the structure of your issues. So everything is on the first level coming in, and then you need to remove them into certain folders or create filters that do that automatically. But it could be a lot more easier if you let Jira use this for you. So let me show you this. How a solution could look like. What would be a good solution if you try to combine the communication with your external stakeholders to your project? So what you regularly have is there's a project manager communicating with your customer. So that communication would be great if it's bound to the project issue, probably as comments. And then you probably have a communication a level below from the technician to your customer. And also this should be connected to your project task, so that everyone can use the particular issue and have the communication that is bound to that just in place so that you can see what's going on. So if you do that and you attach these emails as comments to your particular issues, the first benefit that you will have is it gets transparent. So you have it visible for everyone. So it's not stick to an inbox of your project manager or your developers. Everything is transparent for everyone in the project. And that's already a great benefit, but it should be better. So if you think of having all these communications, a good thing would be that you have an overview of all the threads and all the tasks belonging just to your project in one view, so that you have some kind of a multi-threaded inbox, which is respecting the context of your project, which is in that case an epic and 2 issues. Sorry. So how can you do that? What has to be done so that this works properly and we avoid all these pain points? So the first thing what we have to do is we need to extend the Jira email functionality. In that case, we have two examples like Jetty or GemH, which do the job quite well. And but there is some other solutions as well that you can use. So making Jira being a full email client, that's step number 1. That's what you need to do. And if you do that, you can use Jira as your email client. So when you now send your belongings to your customer or stakeholder, you have a almost full email client that you can use with all the functions, CC, attachment, subjects, bodies, and whatever. And the good thing is now you can use it in your own CI. So the email that's arriving at your customer is not looking like a ticket, it's looking like your company email. And this is the natural way of communicating with a lot of these stakeholders. The next thing is we add this as a comment to the project issue, and the client now is able to respond to that email in the way he is used to. So he gets the email and he just replies and everything is fine. So the response from your customer is also collected by Jira, and everything is added as a comment. So as a result, you get a comment thread in your project issue, which contains the complete communication from you and your customer, transparent to everyone else. So if you have this and you have all these email communications in your project as comments already, you need something that summarize it and helps you to get an overview of all these comments. So in this case, we use Epic SumUp for that. And it gives you, it adds some kind of a summary panel. And in this summary panel, you will have a count of all the comments that are related to your project. And this is, in that case, it's number 5 because I added the manual one just for that case. But this is the summary of all the issues that are related to your project and all of the children in one collection. So this number is, of course, clickable. And if you do that, you will get an overview of all these comments. And that's already what we want to have in one of the former slides. We have an overview of all these comments that belong to the project. As you can see, there is comments from the Epic and there is comments from the task below. And they're shortly mentioned so that you can see, okay, this is what this is about. So in a real world scenario, you will have different authors of these comments and not just me, but this is just for showing the case. So what do you need to find your comments or organize your comments well? So the first thing is, of course, you need a powerful search function. In that case, we have a search bar. This is implemented, and if you start typing it, you will immediately have a search result which is finding everything which is textable in your comments as well. So this is the fastest way of finding stuff and particular comments from your project and all the issues below. This works, by the way, with hundreds of comments, and this is something that we do all day. The next thing, which is what you can do here is you can group them. So in this case, you have the issue view of all the comments together in one overview, and that's already something that helps you to fast find everything that is related to your customer communication, but also to your internal communication. So what do you need to set this up? So in short words, again, to wrap up what we have seen right now is, first of all, you need as prerequisite that you use Jira issues as projects, which is indeed a thing that is also already a good idea for if you have smaller projects that are running fast. You need the workflows in it. So that's a good idea to do that and start thinking about that. And if you do that, you need to enhance the email functions of your Jira. In this case, with some apps, we in person use Jetty, and we have a white paper around that describes this solution in more detail. You can download this from our booth, but there is more solutions to do that. The next thing is that's more or less like enabling a policy, an internal policy. Make your project managers use Jira as your email client, and that makes Jira becoming your email inbox, which is threaded and issued and combines the communication that are related to a particular issue as a common thread beyond your issues. And the next thing is you need some improvement. Probably you need some improvement in working with comments. In that case, we use Epic SumUp for this, which gives you an overview of the comments in your context and a very easy editing and finding all these comments so that you exactly know what's going on. So what do you get if you do all this? In this case, you're able to have a project that combines everything, and this means really everything, and it is just one click away. So the only pain point that was missing is the communication with external stakeholders is now combined in your project, and you can see your project as a package. And if this package is handed over to someone else, you don't need any resources outside of your Jira or not findable. And that makes handover for projects a thing of 5 minutes or something. Everything is transparent to you, to your team, and to the one who gets your project handed over, which can be happening by, let's say, vacations or anything else when you need to hand over a project to someone else. So that's the benefits of it, and that's the fast forward way of finding your communication, binding it into Jira. And indeed, that's how we work with Jira for almost 3 years now. And that lets me come to the last point where I have to thank you for your attendance and give you the chance to start some Q&A. And if you have any questions, go to the chat, write them down, or get in contact with us. So thank you from this point, and now I'm done for today. Yeah, is there any questions coming up?
At the moment, there are no questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat and then we can answer them.
Yeah, anyway, if there is no questions, I would like to mention that you can always come to our booth and talk to us directly. Or leave us a message. So because we're in Germany, we're not available during all the times. But if there is anything that we can answer, you can just drop us a line or request a demo meeting to show you the functions of Epic SumUp or this showcase directly with me or with one of the teams. And we have some downloads in case of the white paper around this communication. So just feel free to come to our booth and yeah. Oh, there's a chat. Yeah. Okay, yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Andreas, there is a question. How can you send emails to external users with this?
Yeah, this is around basically you can set up your Jira and it doesn't matter if you do it on cloud or on server. You can use it for sending notifications or email shares, and this is the basic of it. So you need to connect Jira to an email server, which is in fact almost already done by your administrators. The extension to make Jira a full email client extends these possibilities. There are some solutions that add more SMTP servers, or they just use the basic sending mechanics of Jira itself. And by doing this, and if I can go, I can show you this later on if you come to the booth. You get a full email client, which is accepting any external email address, internal users, or and you can add the CC stuff. So that is creating an email based on a template, connecting the email address or sending it to an email address with all the data from your issue that you have defined in the template. That makes it look like a CI-based email, and it's working just like sending emails to your client. So Jira becomes your client, and that's how you can send them outside. The pain point of sharing issues is that you can just add an email address, but if you send it to someone who's not a Jira user, they just get a link, and this isn't a dead end for them. With an email client, you can put the notifications or put the comments in it, and then you can communicate over this email thread with the external users. I hope that this answers the question. If it goes more deeper, then we can talk about this in the personal session. Can you automate the emails with the events? Yes. This depends on the app that expanded. Of course, you can connect a basic Jira communication already to an event, but you can also use that with the extensions to be more fine-grained in what you send on what event and which data do you want to send and how does it look like. Yeah, you can automate this. Yeah, are there some more questions? Yeah, for sure you should try this. And if anyone else is trying this, I would recommend you to download the white paper, which is going a little bit more into detail. And if you're struggling with something, although it seems very easy, but it's always if you know what you're doing. But there is maybe some nuts and bolts and that you're struggling with, just reach out to us and we help you set this up. Okay, so as you see, we have the email addresses. You can just use them, write to the support or write to me or to Joanna, and we are very happy to answer your questions if they are coming up later today or in the future. And I think now I would move to the last slide, so that you can see what's coming up next. If there is more questions from your side, just reach out to us. We are here at the booth. And thank you for attending this session and have much fun with the other ones and see you later.
Thank you, Andreas. Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.